Bobby Bare once stood in the Billboard Top 10. Music sold millions of records and was regarded as Bobby Bare was one of country music's most evocative storytellers, a man whose songs carried the weight of an entire generation's pain. His voice, calm yet full of emotion, reached millions, yet behind the applause and accolades lay a life marked by relentless hardship. From childhood poverty to heartbreak, loss, and repeated betrayals, Bobby's experiences shaped the very essence of his artistry. Each melody he sang was a reflection of survival, grief, and quiet resilience. He gave voice to struggles others could not articulate, yet few truly understood the depth of his own suffering. His story reminds us that the brilliance we hear in music often comes at a cost unseen by the audience. The man behind the songs endured a life of sacrifice, shaping him into the storyteller we revere today. Early shadows in Iron, Ohio, born in 1935. In Iron, Ohio, Bobby Bare's early years were defined by scarcity and struggle. The Great Depression pressed hard against every family, making survival a daily challenge. Meals were meager, warmth was stolen from rough potato sacks during bitter winters, and childhood innocence was a luxury he could not afford. At the tender age of 5, Bobby lost his mother to exhaustion, a quiet but profound tragedy that left him and his siblings scattered. Poverty determined their fate, and from that moment, Bobby internalized the harsh lesson that life would not offer comfort or constancy. These early experiences planted the seeds of his lifelong resilience, while also leaving scars that would shape his music. The world around him was unforgiving, yet within that bleakness, he discovered the power of endurance. The pain that became music. By the time Bobby reached adolescence, life had hardened him. Long days were spent laboring in fields and doing work far beyond his years, each task building both physical strength and a deep sense of solitude. Amid this harsh reality, he stumbled upon an old radio, a magical portal to another world. Through the music of Hank Williams and Red Foley, Bobby found solace and inspiration. Music became his lifeline, teaching him emotion, storytelling, and the courage to endure. He learned to play guitar, fumbling through each chord until songs became an outlet for pain and a vision of something better. The radio's voices ignited a passion and gave Bobby a rare gift: the ability to transform suffering into art, a skill that would carry him through decades of trials. First love and heartbreak. At 18, Bobby discovered love with Linda, whose presence brought light and hope to his challenging world. Their young love offered dreams of escape, stability, and shared happiness. Yet fate cruelly intervened when Linda died in a car accident, tearing away the first source of romantic joy in his life. This loss shattered the fragile foundation of Bobby's youth, leaving him to confront grief alone. In the midst of this tragedy, he discovered songwriting as a method of survival. His first compositions were not meant for fame or recognition, but as a way to endure each day. Through sorrow, he found his voice, one that would resonate with anyone who had faced loss and injustice. This heartbreak cemented the mournful, reflective tone that would define his musical identity. Early struggles in Nashville. Bobby Bare arrived in Nashville with a heart full of hope, only to encounter repeated rejection. The music industry of the 1950s demanded conformity, and his raw, honest voice clashed with its manufactured standards. Living in poverty, sleeping in cars, and surviving on meager food, he faced humiliation and repeated setbacks. Yet he pressed on, driven by the need to tell his story through music. These experiences reinforced his resilience and shaped his artistic philosophy. Talent alone would not guarantee success, and compromise would come at the cost of integrity. Through grinding perseverance, Bobby learned to channel his pain into songs that spoke truth, creating a style that would eventually break through industry barriers and touch hearts across America. Betrayal and stolen success. In 1958, Bobby's career faced one of its most devastating blows. He recorded The All-American Boy, pouring every ounce of emotion into the song. It soared on the charts, but the credit and royalties were stolen, given to another artist, deemed more marketable. Bobby's creation became a national hit, yet he was left with nothing but frustration and despair. The betrayal cut deeply, leaving him questioning the fairness of an industry that prized image over authenticity. His first instinct was to quit, and for a time he stepped away, enlisting in the military to escape the pain. Even in uniform, the echo of stolen recognition haunted him, reminding Bobby that success was fragile and often undeserved in a world built on commerce rather than art. Finding a voice and recognition. Returning to Nashville in the 1960s, Bobby faced an industry that admired his voice but ignored the man behind it. Record labels and industry insiders often overlooked his talent, leaving him to navigate a world that valued marketability over substance. Yet persistence led him to Chad Atkins, one producer who saw Bobby not as a commodity but as a storyteller. Signing with RCA in 1962, he released songs like Shame on Me, and later Detroit City, which captured the loneliness and struggle of everyday Americans. Recognition finally came, including a Grammy in 1964. Despite accolades, personal satisfaction remained elusive. Bobby's triumph was tinged with solitude, a reminder that professional success cannot fully heal the wounds of childhood loss, betrayal, or heartbreak. Career peaks and family struggles. Bobby Bear's career peaked through the 1960s and 1970s, bringing fame, financial stability, and creative fulfillment. Collaborations with Shel Silverstein resulted in celebrated albums, blending bold storytelling with musical ingenuity. Yet the demands of touring and recording strained his personal life. Marriage and parenthood were overshadowed by absence, leaving his children and wife longing for his presence. Key family moments, like birthdays and celebrations, were often missed, creating a silent tension at home. Bobby's personal sacrifices mirrored those of many artists, balancing art and obligation, yet never fully reconciling the two. The emotional cost of fame deepened, so in a quiet sorrow that would persist, even as audiences celebrated his public triumphs. Resilience and artistic legacy. Despite decades of tragedy, Bobby Bear continued to create, releasing The Moon Was Blue in 2005, produced with his son. This work symbolized reconciliation, hope, and the continuation of musical lineage. Bobby's artistic resilience allowed him to transform suffering into enduring contributions to country music. His life reflects the intricate balance between personal pain and creative triumph, showing that the most authentic art often emerges from the deepest struggles. While he endured isolation, betrayal, and loss, his music immortalized the emotions and stories of his generation, proving that even a life shadowed by hardship can leave a luminous mark. Bobby Bear's journey exemplifies the cost, courage, and beauty of a life devoted to honest storytelling. the man behind the music. Bobby Bear's narrative is a testament to the human cost behind artistic brilliance, from a childhood of scarcity and heartbreak to the peaks of fame and recognition. Every step of his journey carried a shadow of personal loss. His music reflects not only skill, but lived experience, embodying resilience, sorrow, and authenticity. Despite betrayals, industry shifts, and the passage of time, he maintained his voice, leaving an indelible mark on country music. Bobby Bear's story reminds us that the melodies that move us are often born from a lifetime of unseen battles. And the man behind the music remains as compelling, tragic, and inspiring as the songs themselves.